Hello and welcome to Aid and Eyewitness. We hear a lot of people talking about architecture that's bland and characterless, that's not as good as the old architecture that it replaced, about shoeboxes and tall towers with no character. I thought I would go out and see if I could find some examples of modern architecture in Manchester, or recently constructed architecture, that's not bland and that's not shoebox-like and it's not unimaginative. So I chose a few, and they're all in different locations not too far from here. So let's go and have a look. This brand new apartment building stands on the corner of Oldham Road and Addington Street, just a few steps from the top of Oldham Street. We can see how it differs from the more conventional new apartment building on the right. The design is quite unique, featuring arches on all floors from the ground floor right up to the top. This is Poplin, an apartment building providing rental apartments, including some at what's called meaningfully affordable rates, with key workers in mind. The facade is a mixture of red or brownish brick with cream-coloured horizontal sections and arches above the windows. This is what gives the building its unique and slightly retro appeal. There is no other building like this anywhere in Manchester, to my knowledge. There are amenities such as a communal room and a rooftop garden with great views. I find this exterior very attractive. The arch is one of the most fundamental and timeless symbols of architecture, going back to the earliest times. The building is made more interesting by the fact that there is a taller section and a slightly shorter section to its side. The name Poplin recalls the material used in the manufacture of coats on Oldham Road in times past. It's a nice sounding, resonant name. There will be 144 1, 2 and 3 bedroom rental apartments. The exterior uses what I incorrectly refer to as fake brick. Its proper name is lightweight masonry veneer. Nevertheless, it looks to me exactly the same as real bricks. The theme of vertical columns and horizontal lines is continued on all 4 sides of the building. On the Addington Street side, there are sump front doors opening onto the street, and around the other side, some utility entrances. This building reminds me of old pictures of late 19th century steel-framed tall buildings in the US or maybe Canada. In black and white, the retro feel is accentuated. Apartments are available to rent now. So, how much do they cost? Looking at the Poplin Manchester website, I found 1-bedroomed apartments for £1,260 per calendar month, 2-bed for £1,535, and 3-bedroomed from £2,230. I couldn't find any figures for the affordable apartments. So who are the architects responsible for this very interesting building? Keep watching to the end. We are now in New Islington, part of Ancoats, and these are the new modular houses by Urban Splash, similar to the ones I covered in my recent Wirral Waters video, but I'm not sure if these qualify for extra recognition. They have many plus points, but more interesting from an architectural and artistic point of view are these intriguing houses just opposite. Actually, they've been around since 2006, so they don't really qualify as recently constructed, but they're very distinctive and unusual. There seems to be a Dutch influence. The geometric shapes and curves are intriguing. Shades of Amsterdam by the Ashton Canal. Why can't all new architecture be innovative like this? The architects? I'll tell you later. Not far away, the renovation of Ancoats Dispensary is moving ahead. They have constructed, or should I say reconstructed, the tower on top of the building, which was lost in the intervening years. Now it's back, part of this new project which will offer affordable homes. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm not sure if this bus stop qualifies as a building, but the patterns are definitely worth highlighting. Unfortunately, it's not in use at the moment. Not far from here is this open, grassy area named New Islington Green, next to Pollard Street. It is controversially going to be built on. Local people have protested against that. I'll go into it in more detail in another video. As a special mention, I would like to highlight this project in Adswood, Stockport. It used to be the Adswood pub. This is the pub sign, which had a snake on it. The adder of Adder's Wood, Adswood. When I first saw the demolition signs, I thought it was due to be pulled down. And what was going to replace it? More flats, I thought, but I was wrong. The facade was saved and then carefully restored and incorporated into a new project. That project is a specialist care home for adults living with complex and high acuity needs, according to the Adswood Lodge website. I drive past here quite often, and I saw the project move forward. Behind the facade, a large new building was added, with a new roof at the front. The end result is a building that presents a face of traditional charm. The former public house that for decades provided a homely welcome for pubgoers will now provide a homely welcome for people who need special care and their families. It doesn't look like an institution. It's attractive, reassuring, like a traditional family home, but what's behind is a state-of-the-art care facility. I think the people who will stay here and their families deserve somewhere like this. The people behind the project, including the architects, deserve credit. I'll tell you who they are later. And now on to another project, more bricks, or should I say light masonry veneer, also known as faux brick. But as we move up the building, there's no more bricks, and at the very top, a darker shade of grey. It's a bit like shoeboxes left in a teenager's bedroom, but attractive shoeboxes. I think the building looks amazing reflected in the water. Let me quote from the architect's website. "We created a distinctive response within a sensitive heritage context, moving away from the static rectilinear forms of traditional residential blocks towards a more layered and dynamic composition. The volumetric strategy stratifies the building into 3 distinct layers, which each establish a dialogue and a relationship with the site and surroundings through form, materiality and character." Sometimes I think these architects are speaking a different language to the rest of us. Here's some more. "The lower, folded and anchoring volume is shaped to respond to the canal and sets up a relationship with the immediate context of the marina, canal and Jackson's warehouse. Its brickwork echoes the rich tones of the surrounding warehouses." Are we talking about the same building here? Here's my description. Burlington House is a highly distinctive and unusual 11-floor mid-rise residential confection consisting of 3 sections of diminishing size placed one on top of the other. It clashes spectacularly with the surrounding heritage and contemporary buildings, and that's what makes it so good. The upper sections are rectangular boxes placed at an angle to the lower sections, giving it a slightly crazy appearance. We have brick, or faux brick, on the lower section, or podium, with an exterior wall that zigzags in and out, and a sharp corner pointing out over the canal. The middle section has 3 floors, and contrasting with the brickwork, it has a light grey exterior, and on top of that, perched at an angle, is the 2-floor rectangular dark grey pod which cantilevers out over the lower floors. It's as if we have 3 different buildings on top of each other, zigzaggy, asymmetrical, angular, irregularly contoured, geometrically interesting, and housing rental apartments. But where I think it really comes into its own is when it's reflected in the water of the canal basin. Those different tones and colours look fabulous. That's the neighbouring Jackson's warehouse taken 3 years ago when Burlington House was first completed. I could gaze at those moving reflections in the water all day. When you flip it by 180 degrees, we get a shimmering, mirrored mermaid's eye view of Burlington House. The top section could almost be some kind of control tower. I would happily live in it if I could afford the rent, but like New York and New Jersey, maybe it's better to live opposite and admire it across the water. According to the website, there are no free apartments at the moment, but on Rightmove I found a 2-bed for $1,295 per calendar month, previously advertised. And who are the architects behind this cool, quirky and geometrically challenged masterpiece? I'll tell you at the end. Now we are on Chester Road, just a short walk or cycle ride from Deansgate. We pan around past this impressive former pub, anyone know the name, to our final building. Actually, it's 2 buildings standing side by side, like New Victoria, which I featured in a previous video. Unlike New Victoria, this one has balconies all around the facade. We have a charcoal-coloured exterior interspersed with horizontal white strips, with balconies and walls that go in and out at an angle. It looks like every apartment has a balcony, but I would need to check that out. The balconies look a bit narrow. The building has something in common with the other 3 large developments we've looked at in this video. The apartments are for rent only. I wonder, does that have an effect on the style of architecture of the building? Not sure. Up there on the top is a kind of pavilion sitting on one side of the roof, leaving space for, would you believe, a running track. We can see the visualization on the boards next to the site. There's also a rooftop garden, and inside the pavilion, a seating area for the use of residents. Live well at Vox, it says. Apartments to rent, though as far as I can see, there are none available to rent at the moment. Just next to it is Cornbrook Metrolink station, so getting home after a hard night out might not even require an Uber, or you could just stumble down Chester Road. I love those balconies, and people appear to be taking advantage of them and personalising them. Bland architecture, shoeboxes, uninspiring, boring, identikit, characterless? I don't think so. Just next to Cornbrook Metrolink stop, adverts for new waterside apartments on Pomona Island, just nearby. I'll have to take a look at those in another video. Here we have a view of the west facade from the platform at Cornbrook Metrolink station. And I see people are personalising their balconies with flags and generally enjoying the view, seen here from the platform. Not quite Sydney Opera House or the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, but an urban landscape shaped by industry, with attractive mobile phone masts. I like it. Live well at Vox, it says. And in a recent survey, published on the 18th of August 2023 on homeviews.com, it was voted best in Manchester, with mostly positive reviews. The website is showing no apartments available, but I found a 2-bedroom apartment previously advertised for $1,235 per calendar month. So who designed this building? Alright, I'll tell you. It was Shepherd Robson, who also designed New Vic. Poplin is the work of Tim Groom Architects. They're based in Castlefield, Manchester. Those new Islington Dutch-style buildings were designed by FAT Architecture. FAT stands for Fashion, Architecture and Taste. Very innovative. Ancoats Dispensary was built in 1874. I can't find any reference to the architects. The renovation is being carried out by Buttress Architects, based in Ancoats. I once visited their office. Adswood Lodge is by SSA Architects, based in Harrogate. Burlington House is the work of Ian Simpson of Simpson Hoare. That's the architectural practice led by Ian Simpson and Rachel Hoare. And of course Vox, as I mentioned, is by Shepherd Robson, who also designed the distinctively dystopian New Vic, depending on which angle you look at it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Courteous and respectful, please, and with a full explanation of why you like or don't like a particular building. Also, das war's von mir. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und auf Wiedersehen in Manchester.